the oldest of 5 kids, 4 girls and 1 boy. Then there's my mom and dad, and my grandpa lives with us as well. Now, I wouldn't have it any other way, but living with 8 people in one home definitely comes with some challenges. There's never enough hot water, but there always seems to be more than enough dirty laundry. You know what else there's not enough of? Silence. Shh. Be quiet. Keep it down up there. There's a time for being quiet, but sometimes you just have something really important to say. I don't know what I want to do when I grow up. I'm interested in being a teacher or a social worker. I'm also interested in being a preacher. But there are some people, actually entire denominations of Christian churches, that believe that I can't be a preacher. You know why? Because I'm a girl. Now, where did this idea even come from? I want to read to you a few verses that people quote on this topic. 1 Corinthians 14 verses 34 and 35 say, "Women should remain silent in the churches. They are not allowed to speak." Is it okay if I go ahead and finish after that? Okay, good. Women should remain silent in the churches. They are not allowed to speak. If they want to inquire about something, they should ask their own husbands at home, for it is disgraceful for a woman to speak in the church. Now, that seems pretty clear, right? Ladies, shh, zip it. But we have to look at the context. Paul's been talking about how disorderly their worship is. One person would start speaking in tongues, and then someone else would just go interrupt them. Their meetings were wild and crazy and not helping anybody. And in the midst of all this, Paul says, "Oh, and by the way, ladies, please stop interrupting the service. If you have a question about what's going on, save it for later." I believe that this command for women to be silent is based on the situation going on back then. However, others believe it applies to all people today. So, what does Paul really believe about women speaking in church? You know how to tell what someone really believes? It's by what they do. We can say we believe in prayer, but that only makes sense if we actually pray. We can say that we think eating healthy is important, but we probably shouldn't have chocolate smeared all over our face. So, Paul says women should be silent in church. In 1 Timothy, Paul says that he doesn't even permit a woman to teach. Does Paul believe that? The only way to know what Paul really believes is to see what Paul does. The book of Romans is Paul's longest letter. Because he hasn't been able to visit them in person, Romans is written as a summary of all of Paul's teachings and his beliefs about God. Now, back in those days, the letter had to be delivered by a messenger. No emails or text messages. The person delivering the letter would have most likely been the person to stand up and read it aloud to the church. And then, when the church had questions about what was written, they would ask this person to explain what Paul meant. So, the person delivering the letter would have taught the church and helped explain it. So, who delivered Romans? Paul tells us in Romans 16:1, "I commend to you our sister Phoebe, a deacon of the church. I ask you to receive her in the Lord in a way worthy of his people, and to give her any help she may need from you, for she has been the benefactor of many people, including me." Who did Paul send? Paul sent Phoebe. He sent a girl. Listen, I believe that women can teach. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing this today. I'm grateful to be a part of the Assemblies of God, a fellowship that believes that women can serve in ministry. But you know what? The point is not that women can be pastors. The point is that any of us can do anything that God's called us to do. Paul writes in Galatians 3, "So in Christ Jesus you are all children of God through faith. There is neither Jew nor Gentile, neither slave nor free, nor is there male and female, for you are all one in Christ Jesus." It doesn't matter who you are or where you came from. You can be boy or girl, rich or poor, cool or not so cool. You can do anything that God's called you to do. What has he called you to do? Whatever it is, you can do it. Not because you are not female or any other reason, but because he's called you to do it. Thank you.
Yeah.